Hi, students. This week we have Jess Morrow with us to share some study tips. Now, Jess, tell us what your connection is to the KEYS program.
Hi, Casey, and hi, KEYS students. So I was a former KEYS student. I graduated from WCCC back in 2018, and KEYS saved my life. I would not have been able to be successful. I wouldn't have been able to take care of my children. I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of things without KEYS. So it's a great program. I wish that they had the EARN program when I transferred to Cal, but they did not back then. But I did transfer to Cal, and I got my bachelor's in 2020, my master's in 2021, and then I got hired at WCCC in 2021.
And we are super happy to have you here with us. And we're very proud of your accomplishments for continuing your education. That's very commendable of you. Very good.
Thank you.
So the first question that I have for you today, Jessica, how do you suggest to properly read your textbook?
Okay, so textbooks, they're difficult. Some of them are very difficult to read. Some of them have big words. Some of them you might have to look up something in a dictionary or look up somewhere else. But if you highlight or underline, and I have a book here, if you highlight or underline certain things, I don't know if you guys can see how I underline certain things that just stand out, something that's important. Also, at the end of each book, at the end of each chapter, there are chapter reviews that give you a sort of questions or give you an overview that sort of help you to know what was important in that chapter. Go through them and do them. That's going to be the most helpful for books. If you're a visual learner and you do like and it benefits you to take notes, rewrite those highlighted things in your notebook. That way you're repeating them, it's sticking into your head, it's down on paper. And that's what I do. I do it in sort of an outline form with the Roman numerals, the old school kind of form.
Note taking. Do you have any advice for note taking?
Yeah, so note taking, now you can note take off PowerPoints, you can note take off books, you can note take off of if you're in class when teacher's talking. So there's important information, and important information is typically given in bold or italics in PowerPoints. You can print. The best thing to do for PowerPoints is to print them out. Print them out. You can add notes down here to whatever this says. And if you're in class and the teacher speaks, or if this teacher is speaking on a PowerPoint, they kind of change their tone of voice a little bit, or they'll say, this will be on the test. So you'll know that certain spot will be on the test.
Definitely pay attention to that tone. That's very helpful. Now, you created study guides to use to prepare for exams. Tell us about that.
I did. So when I would go through my notes and I would highlight the books, I would turn those sort of statements into questions. And then it would be short answer. I'd give myself some multiple choice, but there's also Quizlet, which often does it for you. And I know every student knows about Quizlet. Let's be real here. Quizlet often does it for you. And they have study guides that you can look at and they'll give you the right answer. So it's a very, very helpful study tool.
And you can review the previous study skill from a couple weeks ago on Quizlet. What about vocabulary words?
So vocabulary words, the easiest thing is to have note cards. Put the word, the definition on the back. Have somebody help you. If you don't have anyone, that's okay. You can do it yourself. Just try not to cheat and turn it over. When I was a student, I made sure that then I got all of my classmates' numbers who wanted to be a part of it and wanted to help out. And that way I had a friend, or I had multiple people to get together and sort of compare our notes and study and see what all we had, if we had the right ideas.
Always good to compare your notes with another student, because you would be surprised some of the things that you might not catch that one of your classmates did. So that's a good tip, good tip. So finals is coming up next week, actually. What tips do you have for taking that final exam?
So finals are difficult. Don't get me wrong, they're difficult. They're very long. They're often worth a lot of your grade. But professors typically will use the previous test questions on their finals. So if you have access to any of your old tests, try retaking them and take them over and over again, just to familiarize yourself with them. And especially the ones from the beginning of the year or mid-semester, some of that material you may have forgotten. So that's really important to kind of focus on. And the other one is take advantage of the professor's office time. They are there for you. That is their job. That's why they're there. Ask questions, ask what's going to be on the test, ask what format the test is going to be in, ask if it's multiple choice or true and false, or how much is it weighted on your grade. But take advantage of it. It's definitely, they love it, they appreciate it, and it'll definitely help you out.
And instructors want to see you succeed also. So the worst they could say is, I can't answer that question. That's providing too much information. So why not try to ask, right?
Yep. And I've definitely had some professors tell me I can't answer that question, but they've also said, I'll tell you where to find it.
So any other pieces of advice that you could share for us, Jess?
I have a couple little things, like don't spend, I know, I hear students say this all the time, they spend hours and hours and hours studying. Don't do that. It's going to cause a bunch of fatigue. It's going to cause burnout. You're not going to remember it. Don't overstudy. I typically say like every 30 minutes, change subjects or take a break. Just take a 10-15 minute break. If you exercise increases blood flow to the brain. It gives you more energy and it allows you to have better comprehension. And then the other tidbit that I've learned and what has helped me the best in my years, and I graduated my master's with a 4.0. So and what has helped me is I learn best by teaching others. So if you try to explain what you're learning to, let's say, your kids or your friend or your family or your mom or your dad, whoever, if you try to explain it, you're going to learn a lot more information and you're going to retain that information a lot better.
Yes, I definitely agree with your advice. And Jessica, you're proof that your study tips that you shared with us today worked because of where you are now.
Absolutely.
And I'm super excited. If you ever want to chat with Jessica, she's working as a social worker here at the college, and her office is right next door to mine. So stop in and say hi to her sometime when she's here.
Yeah, absolutely. Come see me. I have a whole bunch of stuff I'm doing, and if you need any resources, don't hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today, Jess. And students, good luck on those finals next week. You got this.
You got it.